Hi friends, and welcome back. I have on my easel here a painting that I started a while back, haven't touched for quite a while. I had gotten pretty far along with it. Obviously this is my focal point, and I took it in for critique last week. So let me tell you the things that they felt were an issue, and then of course it's my painting. I have to decide in the end what I want to take from that, and if I want to make changes. I absolutely agree that that right there should be my focal point. And most of them felt it didn't jump out enough. So one of the things that several of them said I completely agree with, that the background behind the dog should probably be cooler to recede. One person said they felt this was too dark, that it stood out against the sky. I had mixed reviews on the background. One person felt like the whole thing should be subdued. Another person felt like it shouldn't be, that it feels like a sunny day and I shouldn't do that. One person felt like the reflections in the window was wrong. He thought that you should be able to see through it into the car more, okay? And this I had just scraped off at the end, the car, so I wasn't real concerned, but one person didn't like this line, but I'm not worried about that. I looked back at the reference photo. This part of it came from a photo that I had. This was something else. I put a different background in, but he's wrong about the window in the photo anyway. In the reference photo, you see the reflection of the sky. So now I have to decide if any of that information is helpful to me and what changes I want to make. I want that dog's head to be, you know, your focal point, of course. That's where I spend most of my time. I like the dog's head. You can see that I did put a little bit of a cool edge there on his ear. So that's critiques. You know, sometimes I don't make any changes. Sometimes you might make a lot of changes, because it's not uncommon when you're sitting there with your face in it to, you know, not always see things. I'm trying to make sure you can see it all. It's an 11 by 14 and it's on a deep canvas. I know you got it all there. So it's a little wobbly. It wants to fall off of here. So I'm going to, everything else I do, I'm going to leave that for last, I think. I like the head, but maybe warms, even though he feels there are a lot of warmth in him. Right here, the collar is red. Warms do come forward. I think the car in the picture was gray or cream. I don't think any of that matters. That's not my focal point. Again, this is my focal point. So where to start? I think the easiest place to start is we'll put some cool behind here and try to pull that back. So some of this may be, you know, washes of color, because it's very dry. A lot of what I'm mixing up just now is cobalt and white, and this may be too intense. We'll see. But, you know, cool colors do recede, and I do agree that I want him to pop. This is his body here. I'm not sure what's going on right there. Okay, so already I think that helps. You're welcome to critique it too. It doesn't mean I'll take any of your advice either, but feel free. Again, you know, he's wrong about the window, but we're gonna look at it later. Now up here, they thought this was too dark. But of course it will depend on what we do with the sky, won't it? As to whether in the end it's it's not very important to me, really. I guess this is some kind of a rack on the top of a car, right? It looks like. So let's mix up a lighter cool color. I'm going to try to wash over that whole background. If it didn't work, I can wipe it back off if I get to it, you know, right away. So we'll put some white out, kind of what we did in here, but probably lighter. Get a bigger brush out. You know, it's oil, it's very dry. In the end, you know, I can always wipe it back off, so I'm not real worried about it. Yeah, I like the background, don't get me wrong, it's impressionistic and soft. But no, he's what's important, so maybe it is drawing the eye too much. I don't know. So we're going to just, and we can come back in and do some wiping. For now, we're doing like a wash over it. I think the original image, which came from Reference Free Photos, if I remember right, had snow behind it. Kind of unusual with his head hanging out, right? But I believe it did. I didn't like it, so. So I'm just trying things. I normally don't like to get paintings critiqued until I feel like I'm pretty far along. For myself, I like to, I don't want you walking up on me when I'm in the early stages of a painting and helping me. I like to try to figure things out and get pretty far along. But I was to the point with this one, I thought, tell me what you think. That's almost like looking through a, let's wipe some of it back. Definitely no longer feels like a sunny day, right? I put a little green in the blue. I'm just trying things, so. As you can see, I toned it in orange and was trying not to cover up all that. Put you in front of it. So we cooled off behind the dog, and we definitely subdued the whole background. Trying to decide how I feel about that. It's okay. I mean, you know, it's still there, but it's definitely a lot less important. And then those colors would be reflecting in my window now, right? Just kind of making that disappear, kind of. And I may mix up some orange and try to warm him up more to pull him forward. Now the car I chose this kind of burnt red kind of color. It's funny, the things, you know, the different reviews you get, the things that bother people and they disagree, and you know, critiques are interesting. I don't even have the reference out here. Even with a reference, at some point you need to put the reference aside and you need to decide how the painting stands on its own, you know. Again, we're doing mostly washes of color now. I'm just going to run a bit of that into the background even. That didn't go away because these are pretty transparent. Like I say, I created that at the end. I just kind of scraped it in. Now, do we like the red? I don't know. You know, if the car was red, it might even be reflecting red up into him. Create a glow under him, right? Which maybe that's a good thing. A lot of very quick changes going on, a lot of like I said in the reference, this really was a reflection of, like, it's like a mirror. Let's mix up some orange. I don't want to over-explain stuff. Like, you know, I kind of washed over the door handle and you know, you don't have to ever feel like you ruined something. You can go back, like with oils, once they dry and change things. And I say he did have, you know, already a lot of worms in him. But I'm trying to warm him up more so he pulls forward. You know what I didn't do and I should have done was I should have got a photo before we started. I mean, I'll have it on the video here, but I guess that's what I'll have, right? I got a little too light in the beginning. You want to know the title? I think the title is cute that I've come up with. He looks like he's singing, right? I'm going to call it On the Road Again, but R-O-A-D-D-D. On the road again. So I'm warming him up, and I'm also going to kick up his collar a little bit. I feel like the car is too intensely red. Just, I'm not sure, but I think so. I'm feeling like he's feeling better. Okay, because again, this is too red for me. So what's the complement? Green. I painted outside today. I got quite the messy palette going here. I threw some green into that red, but there wasn't much red left there, so mostly green. And again, even though I tried to explain that where the car puffs out there, it doesn't matter. We painted out at an interesting place today. It's a private road. I'd never been there. It was the roughest little road. It barely fit one car. A lot of houses down there, but I'm driving out there. You know, I'm by myself. I have the address is all I have. Thinking, where in the hell am I going? You know, you just think, should I turn around almost? So I get there, and thank God one of the gals were there, and it's just an unusual kind of a holler, we would have called it back in the country, a holler. I guess at one time which is odd, there were a lot of greenhouses on this road, and they had built these big, tall, like chimneys, stacks that they put coal in to keep things growing in the greenhouse. So there's like 5 of these real tall brick, they look like chimneys, just randomly here and there on the side of this street. Like the barn across the street had one of these real tall, again, chimney looking things by it. But the place where we went, he actually has greenhouses and he grows produce and stuff, and people come to him to buy it. He says he does very few markets, you know, just a couple places. Okay, wait a minute, I'm looking here so I don't confuse myself. All right, I feel like something maybe, if the window's down to there, I don't know, I'm trying to figure out what we got going here. The anatomy of a car. So I've subdued it with green. This angle feels kind of odd to me. But anyway, a lot of acreage, very rough. I painted his little, it was like a garage with a shed attached to it and just stuff everywhere, you know. One lady was in one of the greenhouses. Several people were on the road out there painting up the road, and one lady painted flowers. And I mean, we definitely get into some interesting places you would never get into again because they're, you know, private. So it was a fun day. Almost chilly today. Boy, things change quick, don't they? I think I may have to get my reference out and decide if that car feels this. I have to look at that angle again, revisit that. So don't look at that yet. Divert your eyes. Now I've got to come back in and add a little red to that because it's only green and that doesn't feel right. All right, what have we accomplished? We cooled this off. We, as you can see, just fogged that out. We kicked that way back. We subdued that. We've gone over the car a few times. Didn't touch the window much. I feel like that's the right way to go with it. The dog, I've kicked up the oranges in him. I kicked up his collar. Nothing too drastic, but I do feel like he he stands out a little more. Do a little brighter under there again, like maybe he's getting some reflection from there. Well, give me your opinion. I mean, do you think this window feels right reflecting that, or do you feel like that should be darker in there, or what do you think? Well, I feel like the dog definitely, I think he comes forward a lot more now. I don't really want you looking back there, so this was probably the right thing to do. I don't want it to feel like two scenes, and I want you right here. All right, I'll take suggestions from you too if you got any for me. This is for a show next spring, so I have a lot of time to work on him. So he may go through other changes. And now I have to go look at it too. I may see more things that bug me. But critiques are wonderful. If you paint and you're not a member of a group, you should try to find someone whose work you like, and someone that you trust, and do critiques. Even if you have to occasionally maybe go pay someone and take in a stack of work and get some critiques, I think it's worth it. Doesn't mean you'll change it. It doesn't mean you'll agree with them. But you'd be surprised how many times they catch things that are, once they point it out, that are obvious to you. Sometimes you just don't see it. And it's funny, that was earlier this year. I painted out. I'll tell you about this. And I painted a house, and I put it up for critique. And it was it had a porch above. The house came over, and the porch was above. Is that how it was? Anyway, I had not brought both corners of the house out evenly. The top and bottom, I didn't see it. They didn't see it. No one caught it. They were looking at other things in the painting, and no one even caught it. I got it home and realized, it's just so funny that nobody saw it. Such a glaring mistake. So, all right, cleaning up here a little bit. I appreciate you joining me. Please spend some time watching other videos if you would. I am still trying after like 5 years on here to get monetized. I only need like 300 watch hours, but it has to happen like within, well, I don't know. I don't know when my year runs up. My time runs out, and I have no idea if it's worth doing, but I'd like to. I've just been at this a long time. I think even once you're monetized, I think how you make money is how well your videos do. So, maybe it's not worth my time, but I'm doing it anyway, so what the heck. All right, please subscribe. I'll put you in front of this again. Gosh, I can't get you back far enough, can I? Get you down. That's pretty much it. So we really pushed that back. Now it's like hazy day. And I did, went over this with the red, then we kicked it back with the green. But hopefully your eye's going right there. Hopefully this light window is not distracting. I guess I could put the window all the way down and maybe make that work. Just another thought. All right, thanks so much for joining me. And you have a wonderful, wonderful evening, and I'll catch you soon. Bye-bye.